All right, so we're making homemade popcorn here. So we went ahead and put some oil in the bottom of our pan, and I always put 3 tester kernels in. Once those 3 kernels pop, then I know my oil is hot enough and I can go ahead and put my whole cup of popcorn kernels in. I also like to keep my popcorn kernels in the fridge, keep them cold. It seems to pop a lot better. So once all 3 of these pop, then we're gonna go ahead and dump our cup in, let them all pop, and then I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like when it's done. All right, so our popcorn finished popping. I did forget to mention, after I dump my cup of popcorn in my pan, I go ahead and put the lid on the whole way, give it a good shake, and then cock my lid. You want your heat about medium heat. I have a gas stove, so for mine I do about 3. If you have an electric stove, it's about 5. Once it slows down popping, you want to go ahead and turn your burner off, let it sit until it's pretty much not popping anymore, and then go ahead and remove it from that hot burner, and then remove it from your pan because it will burn otherwise. Go ahead and dump it into your bowl. Now if you're gonna eat it, go ahead and add a little bit of salt and shake it around, but for our garland we don't want salt on it, we just want it plain. So we're gonna let it sit in this bowl 3 to 4 days to get nice and stale, so we can go ahead and put a needle through it without it breaking. All right, so our popcorn has set out for about 4 days. You can leave it out a little longer than that if you want, just enough till it gets stale. And then I also went ahead and got some cranberries, and you want to sort through them. So I did a little bit, so I put my bad ones in this bowl, and I'm gonna sort through the rest as I go. And then we also have our thread that we need here. I'm using just the white. You can use whatever color you want, but you don't really want it to stick out a whole lot. And then you're also gonna need a big sewing needle, one with a large enough end that this kind of string is gonna fit through it. We're also gonna take this string here and we're gonna separate it. We're gonna do 2 pieces together. So there's a total of 6 pieces in your strand. So just go ahead and separate them in 2s. All right, so we went ahead and separated our strand. I did start this one just a little bit, but go ahead and make a fairly large knot at one end, and then you're gonna string your needle on the other end, just like if you were sewing. Then I started with a cranberry, and then I'm gonna do 2 to 3 pieces of popcorn. And then I also cut my string a length that I wanted my popcorn and cranberry strand to be. You can make that whatever length you want. I just want to make it like fairly long so that you have a decent amount of strand. So all right, we're gonna take our popcorn here, put it on our needle, gently push it through. Now our popcorn is very stale. We still want to be careful because it does break fairly easy. So we're gonna go ahead and string it down through here. I'm gonna take it all the way down to the bottom. So I'm gonna pull it all the way down here, and even with our next piece. So we're gonna do one more piece of popcorn, and then we'll go back and do a cranberry. Just remember, with your popcorn, you have to work around your kernel too. And it's really hard to get a needle through that kernel. Okay, so we're gonna pull this one down through again. Okay, so there's our 3 pieces of popcorn with our cranberry. So now we're gonna go ahead and grab another cranberry. So we're just gonna take our cranberry. Now I go straight up through the center here, like through here, and then comes out this end. You wanna try to get it as straight through as you can, but it does not need to be perfect. Okay, so we got our cranberry through. Now we're just gonna go ahead and pull it through the needle. Cranberries are very hard to get on the needle as well because they are pretty hard. You can let them sit out for a little bit, because I had mine in the fridge, so that might help a little bit. And I got this one stuck. All right, let's try a different one. He doesn't want to go on. All right, let's get this guy on here. Sometimes you can even press them down. My hands are getting slippery from them being wet too. Let me just try to hold one do we need here? There we go. All right, so we're just gonna string him all the way down through. Make sure your string doesn't get tangled as you do this. Okay, so there we have cranberry, 3 pieces of popcorn and a cranberry. So we're gonna continue this all the way to the end of our strand. All right, so we're at the end of our strand here. Here's our needle. You don't really wanna go terribly much further than this because you need to be able to tie a knot. So I am just gonna place one more cranberry on the end here. Since I started with a cranberry, I want it to be even, and it's easier to knot on a cranberry than it is the popcorn. So we're gonna go ahead and take our needle off, and then we're gonna go ahead and make some knots on the end here. You can do your knots however you want to do them. You wanna do it pretty close to the cranberry because you don't want a lot of slack on your string, because then when you put it on your tree, all of your popcorn and your cranberries are just gonna spread out everywhere and it's not gonna look the greatest. So just gonna keep knotting it until we get a decent sized knot. Now just remember, you need to be very careful with these strands because the popcorn is still pretty fragile. So as you're moving it around, just keep that in mind. Try not to move it a whole lot. I am gonna let mine sit out because we're not getting our tree until Friday night and we're not gonna decorate it till Saturday. And today is Tuesday that I'm making these. So I'm gonna let them sit out and kind of dry and set a little bit. You can also get spray and spray on these. And it's supposed to keep them up to like 2 years. I've heard that spray is pretty expensive though. I've never done that, but that is an option if you wanted to use them more than 1 year. All right, so here is our nice long strand of popcorn and cranberries. It's very, very easy to do. It's low cost as well because popcorn is cheap and cranberries are cheap. So here is our finished strand. Like I said, you can make them as long as you want. I'm gonna make a whole bunch of these because I want to be able to decorate the whole tree with them. You can also use them for other decorations, but just keep in mind that your cranberries are fresh, so they do have juice in them. So putting them on the tree is not a big deal, but if you're gonna lay them somewhere, you wanna keep that in mind. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe below.